I was so lost in Good
morning.
Good morning, and welcome to episode 51,000 or something. I mean, I'm rounding up, of the Go Time Show with Todd Revis.
And Leah Herbold.
Yay, my friend Leah.
Oh, my friend Todd.
You know, this is like my highlight of the week.
Really?
I do. I look forward to this. It's I think I was born to do stuff like this. This is fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. I don't even get nervous because it's just fun, and I don't think about what's going on the other side of the camera. I don't think about who's watching right this second. I just enjoy it. I really enjoy figuring out what we're going to say.
Yes, that is sometimes a struggle.
Yeah. So be sure and like and subscribe and whatever all those things
Hit
you do.
the button, the notification bell to be notified when we go live.
Yeah, all that stuff does something to the algorithm that causes more people to see it.
And comment if you are watching this live. We want to hear from you as well. So along this journey this morning, please comment. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. We want to hear
Good
what you have to say. Aw. Look at that. Seguin in the house.
Seguin team in the house.
Some of my favorite people.
Yes.
Well, so
what are we talking about?
Today's show is titled No More Internet Leads. Is that how it's supposed to say?
I don't know if it was that aggressive, but it does have an exclamation point behind it. So
no more internet leads.
Yes.
So, we like to come up with, it's funny because we come up with a concept of the show and then we have to figure out a title. And we want it to be a funny or provocative, catchy, something to make you go, huh?
SEO, all the things.
Yeah. And so no more internet leads. The point of that we're trying to make today is going to be why we think referrals is a better way to lead generate.
The way to go.
It's the way to go. So, we all know what internet leads can be. If you're an agent, you've gotten a lead, 8:00 at night, you start engaging with them, texting with them, call them, emailing with them, sending them properties, especially if it's a buyer lead. And, the next day you set up a showing, you're spending time away from your family working on this. And then the next day you're ready to go to a showing and you get a text from them. They're like, here's one I got last week, honestly. And it was like 45 minutes before the showing, which was 30 minutes from my house. And it said, we will not be meeting you at the house today. We will contact you if we need you in any further, whatever. And I remember just going, really? You just wasted not just my time, but other people's time. And that's just part of the game. We let it roll off because not every internet lead pans out. In fact, It's a pretty low number. So I remember this story, Brian Buffini video that I saw a long time ago. And he was in front of a room full of people. These were like people taking his class back in San Diego, probably 10 years ago. And he said, raise your hand. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, what number would you assign to an internet lead? And people were like, a 2, a 3. Mm-hmm. And he's like, exactly, right? What would you rate a lead from your grandmother? And somebody yelled 11.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, actually, it might be an 11 because even if that person doesn't pan out, your grandma's probably going to write you a check anyway because she feels sorry for you.
Right.
And the point is, the leads that come from people that we already know are better leads because they're not competing. We're not competing with anyone else. Your aunt or your grandma or your coworker or your friend or your husband or your wife said, hey, call Todd. He's going to take care of you. And they're just like, okay, Todd, take care of me. Not, okay, Todd, I'm going to interview you. And between you and 3 other people, it's just, no, your reputation precedes you. Let's go.
Yeah.
And that's so awesome. And that has a much greater chance of being successful. So in the concept of lead generation by referral, and I also think it'd be a great idea wouldn't it be cool? I think every realtor would say yes, that one day you would every lead you got came from a past client or a friend or a family member or a church member or a civic organization member, someone you do business with. Wouldn't it be great, right?
It'd be wonderful. Yeah.
So you obviously believe in that pretty strongly.
I do believe in that.
So do you spend any money on lead generation from like online stuff? Like do you pay a service to give you leads?
No. Do you?
No.
I
know. How do you not do that then? Like, what is one way to not have to do that?
Now, I will say, like in the beginning, when I first started real estate, the company, I didn't work for Remax. Why It was so silly back then. But the company that I worked for, they didn't have any lead source for me. And so I did have to buy leads back in the day.
Okay.
And then
I've done it.
Yeah, so I did before. And then now I'm at this level, which now I've been in the business for 10 years. And so 100% of my business is from referrals.
That's awesome. I did an unofficial, we both did an unofficial poll. We just started all week long. We were asking our agents how many I didn't ask them how many they did last year, but out of all the deals you did last year, how many of them came from referral, do you think? And because not every non-referral lead is from the internet, it could be a phone duty lead because we offer phone duty at our office. It could be
Op City.
Yeah. And Op City is still an internet lead. It's just you don't have to pay for it until it closes, right? But it's still like a realtor.com lead. So I consider those kind of leads as still paid for on the internet leads, and they're not warm because they don't know you yet, right? So a referral lead, to me, I guess we should define it, is somebody said you should use Todd. Here's his number, or hey Todd, call this my friend or call this person because I know they're thinking about selling, and I told them who you were. That to me is a referral.
Yes, I agree.
Right, and so if we agree that working by referral would be better than crapshoot of meeting people cold on the internet or through cold calling or whatever to get them, then what is the best way to do that, to learn how to do that, to be intentional about that?
Well, if you don't know, then I would, of course, go to training. Thank you for the plug-in on that. So I would definitely go to a training. I would watch, if you don't know Brian Buffini, I would definitely watch Buffini and learn from his system that he uses. Or Tom Ferry's great too, Jared James, all of the real estate coaches. But I am a strong believer in Buffini because it does work. It's proven that it works time and time again.
If you work at Remax Go, you know who Buffini is. You call him Buffini. His name is Brian Buffini. Yeah. He has a coaching system that's basically his CRM is called Referral Maker.
Right.
It's all about building a business around people being advocates for you. And there's like so many details of how to do it, but it's an intentional way to eventually work by referral only.
Right.
And so you have taken that very seriously and become a certified mentor.
I am a certified mentor.
That means you're allowed to basically teach the class, to guide the class. The class is a video-driven 14-week class that people take, and they always have some kind of closing at the end of it. Because it teaches you how to scrub your database, how to start ranking the people you know as how more or less likely to give you a referral, and then it gives you language to use to how to speak to those people so that it's not salesy and weird, but it's like
we're friends.
I remember somebody saying if you opened a flower shop in the town you live in, you wouldn't feel guilty telling people, hey, if you're going to buy flowers, come buy my flowers. It helps my business and I'll take care of you.
Yeah.
That's not salesy. That's just it's common sense. It's it's like person to person marketing. And so that system that you teach of Buffini, it really teaches you how to do that intentionally. Now, if I was to ask you, what is your the biggest takeaway from the Buffini course in general? The biggest takeaway would be what?
Calls, notes, and pop-bys.
I've heard you say that like hundreds of times. Calls, notes, pop-bys. It almost gets cliche. Like calls, notes, pop-bys. Break those each down and tell me why those are important.
Okay, so like you said, a lot of people don't really love to be on the phone or make the calls because they feel icky about calling someone that's in their phone and basically marketing that they are a real estate agent. But he teaches you this system that doesn't make it feel awkward to give them a call. And so you're not just selling yourself. It's more of, I don't want to give away, but it's more like the things to do and to not be weird about it, basically. And so you have this, you already know their phone number. They're in your phone. So they're already people that you obviously know. And so if you open your phone and you go to your contacts, like if you're doing it right now, and you scroll to the bottom, you're going to be able to see how many contacts you have. All of those contacts in your phone should know that you're a licensed real estate agent. And if they don't, that's on you.
And I've struggled. I'm very much normal in that way that I struggle with. I don't want to be a multi-level marketer that calls all my friends and family, wears them out, bothers them, right? That to me is cringy, and I don't like it when a friend of mine calls me or a cousin of mine calls me because they're trying to get rich on some new scheme and they're trying to get me involved in it, and I'm like, I don't have time for that. I guess I create this probably a mindset in my head that everyone thinks when I call them that I'm calling them to sell them something.
Yeah.
And I'm not. So, but I have to really be intentionally not to do that. So I have a story of when I knew I needed to call the people out of my phone.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to mention real estate one time.
Okay.
And that may help you, whoever's listening. I called this couple that they're about my dad's age. I've known them for about 20 years and they're retired. They lived here in my town. And I called one day to talk to him just to say hi. Like, hey man, I haven't talked to you in like 2 years. Like, how you doing?
Yeah.
And his wife answered. It was a home phone, right? And you could see them in their lazy boys in their middle of the day watching the news or something. And she answered, and we talked for like 15 minutes, like catching up. How you doing? Oh my gosh, Dad, how you doing? And then she said, well, let me give the phone over to him, because she'd totally taken over the conversation.
Another 15 minutes
later.
Then
another 15 minutes later, it was just like we caught up on everything. And I don't even think I mentioned real estate.
Yeah.
I swear to you, 7 months later, 6-7 months later, they called me and said, we're moving to South Carolina. We need to sell our house.
Yeah. And that's how it works.
I believe that's how it works. So if you're trying to call somebody, the difference is if I'm calling somebody to like sell them car insurance over the phone or sell them, roofing at their front door, then I need the sale right now, right?
Yeah.
If I'm calling somebody to just build a relationship so that 6 months from now or 3 months from now or whatever, that's a different phone call. I'm not calling to sell them anything.
Yeah. So, and Buffini teaches you this. The other thing is notes. And so there's a system that gets put in place. And so notes go out, or your mailers go out on the 1st and the 15th of the month, along with e-reports. And then, of course, the personal notes. His belief is that you write 5 personal notes a day. While that seems simple, like 5 notes, I can do 5 notes a day. It's not that easy sometimes.
Day one might be easy, to think of 5 people.
Right. And then you're like, well, what do I say this next week? Because he wants you to do it every single day. However, it is a little bit of a challenge, and you do get pushed in this class. And if you continue to use his system, but the successes that the agents have with this is tremendous. This is what grows their business, because you genuinely care. You're genuinely writing a note. You will get better at it over time. And people love getting notes in the mail. I would rather open my mailbox to 10 cards versus 10 bills.
Yeah. Well, and you can tell if something's a bill or if it's some kind of spam.
Yeah.
But I think I used to hear like notes, like cards that are shaped like cards have 100% open rate.
They do. And then they post it on social media, and then there go all of their friends that see it that are not your clients or not your friends or not your sphere. And then your business grows because of that. No. And you're just doing it unintentionally. So there's definitely, that. And then the last thing is Popeyes.
We have to address this.
Somebody is trying to get in our front door.
My gun's in my office.
Someone is definitely trying to get in.
We have a front door that keep locked.
But Karen, our producer, is going to go find out.
That is awesome. I mean, we ignored it the first time, but the second time, they're banging on that thing hard.
They really want to get in here, and maybe they want to be a part of the show. I'm not sure.
Maybe they have questions about how to give referrals. Who's that?
Corey. Corey Cochia.
Oh my
everyone.
Gosh. That is so awesome. Maybe next time we should just leave that door unlocked.
Maybe we should.
That's awesome. Well, that was a fun little studio break.
Nice. Yes.
Well,
all right,
so
we're back.
Mystery solved. I don't need my gun.
We are back. All right.
Awesome.
So.
Okay. So
the next thing, Popeyes.
So Popeyes. That was the third.
So if producer Karen is back in her office, she will pull up a photo of some Popeyes. I'm not sure if she's back in there yet or not. But what is a Popeye? It sounds silly to those at first, because you're going to. There we are. You're going to get this one. We did this at Old Republic Title this past week. Had a bunch of our agents in there. JoJo was cut off. It's okay. She's over there. Sunglasses and sunscreen, and Old Republic Title provided all of this for our agents to use. Put them in bags, and then you go and you put a cute little tag on it, and I can't remember what it said, but you're just popping by. And so this is a great way for you to bring value to your clients. Stop by, go visit them. They want to see you. And
so I used to think that this meant like, okay, I go to the same cleaners every week, or I go to the same hairdresser every week, or whatever. That would be the kind of person you want to pop by, and then you can engage in a conversation and bring them some fun little treat or something.
It could be a business.
But I remember pretty cool story during the COVID, when people weren't getting out at all. And I remember one of our agents, Leah and Todd, who's really good at this.
Yes.
And she lives over a little far away from here, but she had certain neighborhoods that she sold a lot of houses in. She could kind of track all the people that she had sold or rented houses to in that area.
Yeah.
She would go by their house. She wouldn't tell them she's coming. She would not knock on the door, but she would put it on the doorstep, take a picture of it. And then when she got back in her car, she would text it to them and say, hey, I got a little surprise on the front porch.
Yes.
And so people who are not necessarily comfortable getting out and engaging with people at that time, back in 2020, they were like, oh, and then they would text her back, I got it. That's so sweet of you.
Yeah.
And what an impact that must have made.
It did. It does. JoJo does this. Henry Pruitt does this. I have a lot of, what does he say? You're qualifying your database when you call. So you work with people who want to work with you. Yes. Speaking of Mr. Buffini himself.
You just talked about
I know.
him.
That's crazy. We can't even see who's on. So thanks, Henry. But yes, it does work. You just have to put the tools that it gives you in place and do it consistently. And so we do have this class at Remax Go. It is open to all agents who want to join, and exclusive for our Remax Go agents as well. I had a request again because we just graduated with our class, and so I have another one coming up June 17th.
Oh, okay, good.
Yes.
This is a late breaking news announcement.
I normally don't have it that close together, but
this one really created some energy, and a lot of people were excited to see what you guys were doing, and you've got some new agents.
100 days.
Do that. 100 days to greatness.
100 days to greatness, and it is 14 weeks, and it is jam-packed, and it is no joke to take this class. And we had 9 graduates last week.
That's so awesome. It's so worth it to, and Henry would agree with this, it's so worth it to just build that core value system of this is an important part of my business. I don't care. And other thing I want to say, let's say you just moved to the town you're in and you're licensed and you're ready to go and you know 0 people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm blessed that I go to church here. I have civic organizations here. I went to high school 30 minutes from here. I've lived here for 20 years. It's just, I know a bunch of people. Henry used to give me a hard time because everywhere he went, he's like, man, they already know Todd.
You're the mayor.
But he had to get out there and meet people.
Right.
And so Buffini talks about the mayoral campaign.
Yes.
Where you get out, if you don't know anybody, meet somebody every day.
Yeah.
And go join things and join a church, join a music organization or a local civic organization, Lions Club, Rotary.
And I had an agent who did not have a sphere. His wife is actually an agent, and she has her whole sphere. And so he didn't want to tap into that.
Was that this last time?
This was this last time. And so he went with a different angle and went out to businesses. And so he met with employees at businesses, and he built this way. And it worked.
He has a sphere.
And it worked because of the pop buys. He took, I can't remember. It was nurses, and I want to say it was hand sanitizer or something. And he took hand sanitizer to them, and your brother did that too also. And anyways, they called him in to do a listing appointment.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. So it does work. I promise.
Yeah. I mean, it does. And so we just wanted to make sure you knew that there's not only the best way to do real estate long-term is through referrals. And there is an intentional way to do that.
Yeah.
And if you want more information, check with Leah, get signed up on her class.
June 17th. And we also have a photo, if producer Karen can put it up, of Mr. Buffini himself. We actually got to meet him in person at R4 this past year.
Yeah.
was so fun.
It's almost like this guy is like this mystical character. He's the one in the blue suit with the tie by Frank, and that was us in Las Vegas last March.
Karen was taking the photo, so she was there.
Yeah,
but she was taking
it was just cool. He was so cool to me, and I feel like I know him because not only have I taken the Buffini course, but he has a podcast called It's a Good Life, and it's kind of a
you listen to it all the time.
I listen to it twice a week because I'm all caught up, and he does throwback episodes from stuff because he's talked about some really great stuff and self-development stuff. So when you listen to his podcast, it's not going to be about how to get referrals.
Right.
Sometimes he touches on that, but it's really about how to be the best you can be. And so I just think it's great. If you're looking for a positive podcast that has a networking / real estate spin to it, It's a Good Life. He's kind of heading into retirement. He does less for the Buffini company that he's ever done. Spends more time on a bucket list and hanging out with his wife and traveling. And he's the grandpa now, and so things have changed a little bit.
Yeah.
But I felt like I knew him already, and knew his family, and it's weird, but I feel like I know him. And so to meet him like that, I got to meet him in person, shake his hand, look at his eyes, and
we talked to him. Too.
Yeah, we got to. His son went to college in Texas and played football. So when he found out we were from Texas, he lit up.
He loves Texas.
And then he started like bragging about his son's team, and like it was cool.
We love Buffini.
Yeah.
We are a proud supporter of Buffini.
Yeah,
all the things. So we believe in it because it works, and we want our agents to understand the process and help grow their business because it does work. And if you have a Buffini story, put it in the comments. Let us know. Maybe if you've taken a Buffini course. I know we saw Henry on here, but
Julie's done it.
Oh yeah, and Julie was on here too.
Melissa McBride, has she done Buffini?
I don't think she's done Buffini yet.
She's going to now.
She's gonna, right?
She watches this show.
Yeah. All right. So what do we have next?
So what's happening?
What's
happening? We had to
happening?
look at the calendar, and I couldn't think of anything. Like, there's nothing important coming up.
Oh,
anytime soon.
okay.
Like, I'm saying the summer graduation.
We did kind of go through that, but it's actually Mother's Day weekend.
Mother's Day.
Yes.
This weekend?
This weekend on Sunday. So if you're a mother, an aunt, a dog mom, all of the, or, if
all you got to do is say if you're a mom or if you have a mom.
And that
covers everybody on the
True.
planet, right?
Yes. But sometimes, I'm just going the extra,
Dog
so
mom.
We love y'all. We appreciate y'all, and thank you for all that y'all do for your little kids.
Yeah.
All the things. Yeah. Take your moms out.
It is awesome. Yeah.
Tell somebody Happy Mother's Day. Because sometimes you just never know.
My wife kind of feels like my mom sometimes.
Mhm.
Like she has to treat me like a kid sometimes. So.
I can see that. Sometimes.
But she's also an amazing mom to our two kids and our grandkids. She's a great grandma.
Yes.
She's
I see
awesome.
all of her posts. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So industry news. What's happening with that?
Every week we do industry news, and I try to research something positive that's going on because, that's the way I live my life. I always look at the bright side.
Yes.
And I'm always looking for things that make me feel good about real estate and good about where we're headed as agents and consumers too. And I stumbled across an interesting statistic that I think is valuable for us to know and to share with our clients. I think we're in a situation, we're in a market, and I've been doing this for almost about 2 decades. And so I've seen this long graph of time. And I know there are people here that have been doing it twice that long.
Yes.
And where we are now is a unique period in time. The prices are the highest they've ever been. Interest rates are as high as they've ever been, or as high as they've been in a while.
In a while,
right?
yeah.
And so, but even when they were higher than they are now, prices were way lower, right? So if you compare income, like median family income to the price of the houses, there's a discrepancy greater than there's ever been before. Mm-hmm. And so you take that discrepancy of we still only make this, but prices are here, and now interest rates are here. It puts a strain on a monthly payment, right? So that's an easy way to get caught up in the negativity of it. If people are using real estate to try to make quick money, that's the wrong approach. And so if you're working with buyers, you have referrals, family members that are waiting to time it because they want, because if you bought a house in 2020 or in 2019 and you sold it in 2021, you might have made $100,000. But that's not the way things work on a longer scale. So
Right.
here's the good news.
Good
I can
news.
talk myself
Okay.
I could talk myself down into a whole bad news thing, but here's the good news. If you bought a house in 1990 and you sold it in 2000 or 1999, you made about 33% in profit or equity. You had equity in it. If you bought a house in 1999, 2000 and sold it in 2009, 2010, over 40% increase in value of that home. Same thing, 2010 to 2020, same thing. So it was actually like 47%. So in real estate is the best long-term investment out there. If you buy a house in 2024, or one of your clients does, by 2034, we don't have a crystal ball to know what the market's going to do, but we know that based on the last 3 decades, it's going to go up at least 33%, probably closer to 50%. So if somebody's asking you, like, is it a good investment to buy a house right now? Well, that depends. Are you going to be in the house 7 to 10 years? Then yeah. There's almost zero way you lose money. I love the phrase, real estate always goes to the right and up. When you think of a graph, it's always going to the right and up. And so I think if somebody's trying to buy a house to turn a quick buck, then they're going to roll the dice. And we never know. There have been times when people have bought a house. Cheap. Yeah, if you buy it cheap, or if you buy it and then the market goes crazy up in a certain area, real estate's hyper local. Where we live in Texas, it's a pretty consistent job market. It's a pretty consistent place that people want to move to. And I'm very confident in telling somebody, even if it feels like you're buying at the high of the market, it's still going to go up. And it's hard to explain that, but it works. And so if you have a young family that's trying to buy their first home and they're just worried, that I promise you it's a better investment than renting.
When was the best time to plant a tree?
20 years ago.
When's the next best time?
Today.
Right. So same thing with real estate.
I do love that.
Oh, happy Mother's Day, Melissa. Yes. Thank you. All right. Well, that was a great episode.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining.
I love talking about referrals.
Me too. Do you want a cold call? You really want to do that?
There's lots of ways to do real estate, but
Yeah, let's build a smart business and have people call you.
Yeah.
Right? Or on Facebook, have people message your name on those threads, right?
Yeah. I love it.
Be that person.
If you have any questions about that, of course, you can offline contact me or Leah. We'll talk for hours about it.
Sign up for the class.
Yeah. If you're struggling with anything, there's a class for that, and Leah teaches it.
Oh, yes. And please, if you're watching this, like, subscribe, and share with your friends, and hit the notification bell to get notified when we go live. I
just created a new hashtag.
Tell me.
There's a class for that.
Hashtag, there's a class for that.
Hashtag Leah teaches it.
Oh, my
there's
hashtag.
There's a class for that, and Leah teaches it.
Okay.
It may not be a hashtag.
We should get that on a shirt.
Yeah. There's a class for that, and on the back says Leah teaches it.
Leah teaches it?
Woo!
What? Okay, let's do it. All right, guys. I hope y'all all have, if the moms on here, a great Mother's Day weekend.
Great Mother's Day.
We'll see y'all next week.
See you next week.
Bye.